Spark TV. Metal in action.
It took lots of days and hours to record this one. I think I spent like almost a month with my parts. It took lots of energy and lots of passion to do that. And working with Jens Bogren, it's always a big opportunity to really try to give your best on the album. And he's the right guy to work with.
Yeah, the start of this session was somehow hard with me. I mean, as we talked with the previous, there was a lot of touring, and we finished the last show of the tour, and we had one day off, and then we started to realize the new material like straight away. And then after 1 or 2 weeks, Jens came up with the pre-production and already like a lot of new work to rearrange everything and stuff like that. But once we got to the Fascination Street in Stockholm and started actually working with Jens, it was really relaxed and really nice.
We have to arrange a lot because the structures on the songs are really complicated. But I think when you listen to the final album, everything sounds, for me personally, it sounds really natural. So I think we have to thank Jens for that.
I should have seen it coming. The signs on the road had changed.
Working on this album with AMORPHIS has been challenging. We wanted to create something grand. I produced their last album, Under the Red Cloud, and it's always tricky when you do follow-up afterwards, because you need to find ways of trying to do it better and not repeating the same kind of formula that you might have used on the previous one. So for this one we were thinking bigger, grander, trying to use elements that you haven't heard on an AMORPHIS album before.
Well, I think we are quite open-minded when it comes to music, and if you listen to the whole career of AMORPHIS, we have so many different albums, and of course if there are some good and new and fresh ideas, we are really open-minded to try them. And Jens is such a professional guy, and we really trust what he's trying to put in our music.
And I guess personally I was a little bit inspired with some recent productions that I have been doing with some Middle Eastern music and stuff like that. So AMORPHIS has some use of that sort of tonal language already, so it fits them pretty well. So that way we incorporated some Turkish strings and also had this vision of trying to make it sound like it could have been sort of a soundtrack to something, the album, and certain parts of it and certain songs.
This is not a concept album, so I think it's really hard to say it one sentence or with one word, but I think the themes that we are talking about this album, they are really typical themes in human history in a way. And Pekka Kainulainen, who did the lyrics, he always takes lots of inspiration from Finnish nature and old beliefs and stories. The main topics are maybe that sometimes the small things can matter a lot, like just small thing happens and the whole world can change, you know. And also I think one thing is that we are always doing the same mistakes as human beings.
Since AMORPHIS has those sort of folkish elements, I think it blends quite well if you sort of go between the European folkish over to the Middle Eastern folkish, so to speak, and it blends quite well. And I think AMORPHIS has a way of sort of wave between those elements while still being a proper metal band, and that makes them quite unique on the scene, in my opinion.
Pekka always writes all the lyrics without hearing any music from us. So that's the thing. We just give like free hands for him to do his art, and then we're trying to arrange music and the lyrics together.
Trying is a good word.
It's really difficult, but in the end, when I listen to the album, I'm really satisfied with the results. It takes lots of time and effort, but it's worth of working.
Celý rozhovor s AMORPHIS a také recenzi nového alba Queen of Time najdeš právě teď v květnovém Sparku.
Spark TV. Metal in action.